So recently I've noticed a lot of fellow content creators and streamers on social media who have been getting themselves down and beating themselves up because they believe that they are not quite succeeding at the rate that they thought they would, or they believe that they are failing in what they are doing. And I got to thinking, why exactly is it that there are so many people who are starting to feel this way? And then a thought occurred to me. There's a lot of videos out like this one and other channels where people are putting out advice videos on how to grow your streams and how to become successful. And I've realized that a lot of these videos don't actually portray a realistic journey for how to become a successful creator. It gives the illusion that these things can happen almost overnight, when that in fact is so very far from the truth. So let's delve more into that today. Now, to a lot of people who watch streams and videos like this, they believe that to become a content creator or a streamer is actually one of the most easy things that you can do, and that there's no real skill or difficulty involved. And to be fair, if you're one of the more casual streamers or content creators who aren't really in it for anything big, they just want to put some content out there and have other people enjoy it, then I can see the point. But if you are wanting to grow it into some kind of business for yourself, then it's actually very, very different altogether. And that is one of the aspects I think that we need to begin to discuss a little bit more, is how to deal with some of the more mentally challenging aspects of growing a business of this type, and how to deal with the feelings of failure that people will get along this journey, because it is something that is almost guaranteed to happen to all creators. I've had it. I know plenty of other people who have had it, who I talk to all the time. It is a very, very common occurrence. And it's actually a lot stranger if you haven't had that, because it's human nature to feel this way. But there are easier ways to deal with these things when they come up. So that is what I want to talk about in this video today, is more that kind of aspect and looking at a much more realistic way of looking at your journey as a content creator. Now, if you have any questions about anything that I've covered in the video today, or you want to voice your opinion on any of the things that I've mentioned, feel free to drop them down in the comments. I love to read your feedback and hear your opinions on everything, so make sure to drop those down there. Or I do also stream on this channel every Saturday, so feel free to drop on by one of the streams and we can talk about it a bit more in depth. Or head on over to my Twitch channel, where I also stream every Monday to Friday. I will leave details of all of this down in the description below for you guys. But other than that, enjoy the video and I hope that it helps you guys out. So, you've realized that you have a great passion for gaming and for hanging with like-minded people who have very similar tastes to you. And you thought, I want to earn a living doing something that I love. So you started out as a streamer. And here you are, 6 months later, all of a sudden, things are not starting to look as good as they did, and you're beginning to feel like a bit of a failure, and you're trying to work out why you're not as successful as you thought you would be by this point. And I would like to tell you right now, you would not be alone in that, because there are thousands of creators out there who go through the exact same thing as you. I've done it myself. I've seen plenty of my friends who stream who've been through the exact same thing. It is absolutely 100% common for this to happen to streamers and content creators, because we build up a belief that if we are good at something straight away, then it will take off overnight and we will become instant sensations. But that isn't how things go, unfortunately. When you look at the reality of streaming, you will not be able to go from nothing to everything overnight. It just does not work that way. It can be especially hard for people if they are suddenly feeling like they are not succeeding in the way that they thought they would, and they can see a lot of people around them who are doing much better than them or seem to be growing much faster. And the problem with this is that people need to stop comparing themselves to other people. Okay, that is the main issue that we have with being content creators, is comparing ourselves to others, because everybody is on a completely different journey with streaming, with content creating, with life itself. We're all on completely different journeys. Everything has completely different factors affecting success. You know, a lot of people are growing because they know certain people and that has helped them, or they are going out and they're putting an absolute ton of work into certain things and it's paid off for them, or they were just in the right place at the right time, or they were fantastically good at a video game or something like that and people have found them and they've grown through that. Everybody has a totally different approach and a totally different journey that they're going to go on throughout streaming, and you need to be able to stop comparing yourself to those people. Because if you can see other people having success, you begin to wonder, why am I not having this? Why is this not going the same way for me? Why am I not as successful? And that is what will begin to get you down. And this is 100% you just getting into your own head, because you're on your own journey. They're on their journey, you're on your journey. They're going to take different routes, they're going to take different lengths of time, but the end product, the end destination that you're going to get to can very often be a very similar place. You just have to get through the turns, the bumps in the road, and get yourself to that destination. So the first thing that I will say that people need to try and make sure that they do is don't compare yourself to other content creators, because you're all in different stages of your journey. Something that is really, really important for everybody to remember is that if you become a streamer and a content creator, you're not going to blow up overnight. It just doesn't happen. It may seem like that may be a thing that happens to some people, but it really, really isn't. Now, unless you are an absolute pro at the game that you play and you have gone off to a giant esports tournament and won it and become famous through that, you are not going to just take off in an instant. It isn't how streaming works. It's not how Twitch and YouTube work at all. It's going to be a long journey. And that's the first thing that most brand new content creators need to consider, is that it's going to take time. It's going to take effort. You're going to have to put a lot of dedication into everything that you're doing if you are going to take this to a place where it's going to be successful, okay? It's not just going to be put onto a silver platter for you and people are just going to throw views at you and throw money at you and sponsorships and whatever and say, right, there you go. You're famous now. That isn't how it goes. There's maybe 0.01% of creators who've exploded overnight. And that's because of what I said before. They would be absolutely incredible at something like Fortnite or Call of Duty, and they found a backing of people and viewership who have instantly thought, wow, this guy's amazing. And they've gone out and they've made a name for themselves and become famous overnight. But for the 99.99% of the rest of us, that is not how it goes. And that is something that a lot of newer creators need to remember. You will not grow straight away. So just enjoy the journey. Otherwise, if you spend your entire journey as a content creator and a streamer wondering why you haven't blown up yet, you're not going to have a very good time. Streaming is about enjoying yourself. It's about building friendships and connections with your viewers, with other streamers, and enjoying your journeys together. If we just had it put in front of us straight away, then what would be the point? You get experience from actually going through all of these stages yourself, rather than it just blowing up and being huge straight away. You will actually gain better skills when it comes to streaming, to content creating. Hell, this has helped me converse with people better. It's helped me to socialize with people better, because I have taken the time to build connections with people, to get to know people, and work my way forwards in growing my streaming, my channel, my social media, all of that kind of stuff. It's like planting a garden. You plant the seeds and you watch them grow slowly over time. You don't plant the seeds and all of a sudden a giant beanstalk appears overnight, because that's just fantasy. It's a much slower process, but you have to make sure that you enjoy the ride, because otherwise, what's the point in any of this? Now, as you begin to grow as a streamer and a content creator, and you finally begin to see that success, another thing that you are going to have to deal with at some point is the fear of losing it all. Now, I know a lot of creators who have grown their channels from the very beginning up to being able to get 60 or 70 average views or more on their streams. And that is absolutely brilliant. They've done amazing jobs to get there. But they tell me about the fear that every day that they go live, and that is the day where it all comes crashing down, and all of a sudden they'll head back down to a 20 average viewership or even lower than that. There is a constant fear that that success is going to have an end, because all journeys do have peaks and troughs. It's not just a straight gradual line up. You're not going to go from down here to up here and it's just going to keep going and keep going. You have ups and downs on every single journey. Some downs are going to be bigger than others, and that is the fear that it drives people onwards, because every day they will be pushing and pushing and pushing to make sure that their content is as good as it can be, and that they are engaging with everybody and making sure that people are having a great time. But there is always going to be that thought in the back of your mind, what if it all goes away? And that is the kind of drive really that keeps a lot of streamers going, because you have to enjoy the successes while they're there. Yes, you are going to have lower times. It happens to everybody. There are peaks and troughs on platforms in general. There are times of the year where viewerships are higher, times of the year where viewerships are lower, like around Christmas, because people aren't really spending as much time on the platform. You have to take things like that into account. It's always going to happen. But you have to make sure that you don't let that fear control you. You need to focus on the good aspects of everything that you are doing. If you are beginning to have a bit of a worse time, remember that the chances are it's going to pick up again. And even if it seems like it's taking a long time to pick up again, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep looking for ways that you can improve yourself, because anything that you can do to take your mind off of that thought is going to benefit you. Because as that fear grows, if you begin to dwell on it more and more, it's going to show through in what you're doing. People are going to begin to see changes in the way that you are. They're going to begin to think, this guy doesn't seem as happy as they were before. Why is that? What's going on? And then that could actually affect you even more and begin to actually drive that viewership down even further. So what you need to make sure you do is do not let it control you. It's going to be an issue. It happens to every creator. But if you can deal with it and realize that every journey has its ups and downs, you cannot let yourself stop at every bump in the road. Otherwise, you're never going to get anywhere. If you stop every time everything gets a little bit difficult, that's life. Everything gets difficult in life at times. But if you have that drive to push through, that's how you make it to properly successful places. You always also need to make sure that you are looking after your mental health, because for a lot of people, they think that streaming is literally just sitting in front of a screen playing some video games with a few friends around, which in theory sounds absolutely amazing, and how the hell could that ever have any kind of negative effect on you? Well, trust me, streaming can have a lot of detrimental effects on your mental health, which you need to make sure that you are keeping an eye out for. If you're beginning to feel like things are becoming overwhelming, or you are getting that sense of fear that is starting to grow quite a lot, or you're feeling stressed that you're not succeeding enough with things like that, it's very, very important to make sure that you just take a step back. Take a step back and look at everything from a different perspective. And if you need to, take a break. I have done that myself. I can say from experience that things can get very intense with doing this, and there can be a lot of different factors and a lot of different things that can get into your head and make you begin to start questioning everything. So it can be very important to make sure that you take a step back and you just look at things objectively. I took 2 months away from streaming, and when I came back, things weren't at the same level that they were before. In terms of viewership and things like that, yes, they had dropped because I had been gone for 2 months. Did I let that affect me? Yeah, for a little while I did actually. I thought about it for a while and I thought, why am I not going back to where I was before? But what you have to accept and remember is that you've taken a long time away. People are slowly getting back into thinking, oh, they're back around now. But what you have actually done in that time is that you have prepared yourself a little better. You have set your mind straight about things that were affecting you before, and now you can focus on things a lot better. And it means that everything that you were struggling with, it may still be around a little bit, but the chances are you found better ways to deal with all of it, and that is going to help you a lot better the second time around. And eventually you're going to see those numbers come back. You're going to see your viewership climb again. You're going to make new friends. You're going to find new people to engage with who are going to find your content and love it. So it's, again, it just goes back to the bump in the road kind of thing. It's absolutely fine. If you hit a bump in the road, it is okay to take a bit of a pause. Definitely. Don't let it stop you completely, because otherwise you are wasting great potential. It's going to get you somewhere. It doesn't really matter how long the journey takes, as long as you can enjoy yourself and get there eventually. And that is something that I need to try and drive into people's minds. And I need to try and tell myself that every day as well. Like I'm saying this now, I will have periods throughout my time as a streamer where I will forget all of these things and I will have to tell myself the exact same things again. But if I can tell myself that and listen to what I'm actually saying and learn from it, that is the key to keeping your head straight, to keeping your mind at ease, and to getting yourself peacefully and enjoying yourself along the journey. I keep saying it, but it's really important to do. You have to make sure that you're enjoying what you're doing, and you will get to that wonderful place that you are aiming for. So just to quickly recap what we've gone over here, you need to make sure that you don't focus on other people's successes and compare yourself to them, because you guys are on completely different journeys. You're going to get there eventually, but you're going to get there through different routes, and it's going to take different amount of time. So don't focus on what other people are doing, just focus on yourself. Also remember that this journey is a long one. It's not an overnight thing. There is no secret formula for success. There's no secret checklist that you can tick all the boxes and you will instantly become a hit, because that's just not how things work. Once you realize that this is going to be a lengthy journey, you can just sit back and enjoy the ride. Also make sure that every time you hit a bump in the road, you take a step back and you look at things from a different perspective and you think to yourself, do I need to take a bit of a break for now? And if you do, absolutely go for it. Have no fear in taking a little bit of time away, because even if you come back and find that things have dropped a little bit, you're going to get that back eventually, and you're going to be in a much better mental state than you were before, which is the most important thing. So the whole theme really of this video is to remember the importance of looking after your mental state. Being a streamer can be very daunting at times. It can play havoc with your mind. I have seen plenty of people who have gone through extremely difficult times mentally because of streaming and content creation and the effects that it can have on you. And I really don't like seeing that happen to people. So that is why I'm putting this video out, because I want to drive home the importance of looking after yourself. We love streaming. We absolutely love streaming and making videos. It's brilliant. It's what we want to do. It's what we're passionate about. But if it's having any adverse effects on the way that your mental health is looking, you need to make sure to keep an eye on it and take a step away if you need to. Don't let it get on top of you, because it can break you. And I hate seeing that happen to people. So please, please, please remember the importance of looking after your mental health when it comes to streaming and content creation and life in general. And that about wraps everything up for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really honestly hope that this has been really helpful for you guys. And like I say, if you have any opinions or you would like to chat about anything, drop it down in the comments below or hit me up on one of my other social media platforms. They are all linked down in the description. Feel free to message me. That is absolutely fine. I try to reply to absolutely everyone that I get because I enjoy talking to all of you guys and getting to know you better. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you later.